What's going on? It's December 28th, 2025. I just want to dive into what the latest is with our snow totals for our storm moving through the upper Midwest. We'll also take a quick look at our forecast moving forward and the teleconnections, what the rest of January could look like. You can see our heaviest snow band right here. This is setting up a little bit farther south than some of the models thought, and we have a little bit of a dry slot to the north and to the west of Minneapolis. Now, I do expect this area to fill in with snow. I don't think you're going to end up with no snow in this area. Believe me, you will have some snow falling here. You'll have good accumulations, but getting some early nice banding setting up a little bit farther to the southeast. That does look like it's going to move through the Minneapolis metro area. Maybe we do end up getting closer to that high end of 10 plus inches of snow for some of us out in this region here. We do have some snow moving into portions of eastern Nebraska, northwestern Iowa, southwestern Minnesota. You can see eastern South Dakota, eastern North Dakota. We've got some pretty heavy snow bands right now, and the winds out here should be whipping as well. And look at this, strong winds already moving in here. These winds will begin to move into the Minneapolis metro here in a few hours, but I wouldn't be surprised if we were getting some gusts over 40 to 50 miles per hour already out through this region of western Minnesota, eastern Dakotas, northwestern Iowa as well. Taking a look at our temperatures, most of Minnesota is already below freezing. Southeastern Minnesota, including the Minneapolis metro, slightly above freezing. This is going to change, obviously, to freezing in just a few hours here. The temperatures are going to drop pretty quickly. We've also got some strong to severe thunderstorms moving through portions of Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, even portions of southern Wisconsin potentially. You can see this is a mesoscale discussion right here for heavy rainfall. And then right at the end here, we actually get, and let's take a look at what this is. Severe potential mesoscale discussion. Isolated small to marginally severe hail may accompany the stronger storms that evolved this morning. We also have a tornado risk in here as well. Let me quickly show you what's going on with that. We're going to get back to the winter storm in just a second and talk about the snow totals. But really quickly, here is the categorical risk for severe weather today. You can see a slight risk for severe weather through portions of Indiana and Illinois, northwestern Kentucky potentially, and then we have a large marginal risk for severe weather as well. And if we break this down, if we look at the tornado risk here, we've got a decent size 2% risk for tornadoes through portions of Illinois, Indiana, and then northwestern Ohio, with a higher 5% risk for tornadoes through portions of eastern Illinois and western Indiana. So make sure you have your weather alerts on out here today. A few spin-ups are definitely possible. Of course, along with that tornado threat, we have a wind threat as well. This isn't showing much of a hail threat, but there is a little bit of a hail threat out here as well today. Now let's quickly take a look at the national blend. This is a great model to look at because it takes all of our models together, averages them out basically. Minneapolis Metro, again, we're talking about 8 to 9 inches of snow in that region. Looking pretty similar to the NAM and HRRR for southern Minnesota and northern Iowa. Although, obviously, the national blend is not being as nice to southern Wisconsin or northern Illinois. Madison, Wisconsin, still possible to get 3 to 4 inches of snow. Pushes our snow totals up on the national blend a little bit here in western Michigan. You can see 5 to 8 inches of snow right through this region. And then again, 9 inches to a foot, I think, are possible up in northern Michigan. I don't know what that circle was there. And then the UP still, most of these models do see the possibility of 2+ inches of snow. All right, here's our NWS run. Minneapolis Metro, 9 to 10 inches. So they're actually pushing those snow totals up a little bit. And I think this is adjusting a little bit more for where we're seeing our snow bands currently. Being a lot more nice to southern Minnesota, southeastern Minnesota, we're looking at 5 to 7.5 inches of snow. Being nicer to northern Iowa, we're talking about 3 to 5 inches of snow, really. And then you can see southern Wisconsin, we're talking about 1 inch to 4 inches of snow from southern Wisconsin to central Wisconsin here. Not much in northern Illinois, maybe a trace to 1 inch of snow. Again, northern Wisconsin, close to a foot. UP, 1 to 2 feet. And then western and northern Michigan, we're looking pretty good here. 5 to 9 inches of snow. Now, here's something that has really changed overnight. This is the probabilistic precipitation portal. That's hard to say. So this is from the National Weather Service. All of this right here that you see, expected 8 inches. This was all 6 inches yesterday. I was looking at the models thinking they're probably going to push the totals up. They did a little bit. You can see in here, Minneapolis Metro, more like 8 to 10 inches of snow is possible through this region. Northern Wisconsin as well. Really 10 to 14 inches, I think, is possible up here in northern and northeastern Wisconsin. You can see as I get into the Minneapolis Metro, 10 and a half around this area. Moving down towards Rochester, 7 to 8 inches. This is the official forecast from the National Weather Service. Albert Lee, 7.5 inches. Pretty nice to south. This is being much nicer to southeastern Minnesota than we were yesterday. So this is good if you're down there, you want some snow. This is nice. Northern Iowa being pretty nice as well. Waterloo, maybe 3 inches. Mason City, 4.5 inches. Then you can see southern Wisconsin really drops off, but Madison still 3 to 4 inches possible. Green Bay, we're talking about 6 inches. Eau Claire, 10 inches. And this is just the expected. High ends are going to be much higher than this. UP and Michigan, Marquette, oh my gosh. 2 feet of snow. Western Michigan doing pretty good. Grand Rapids potentially around 6 inches of snow. Kalamazoo 6 inches. Down towards South Bend 3.5 inches. Up towards the northern portion of Michigan, we're talking about 13, 14 inches of snowfall. You can see up here, central Minnesota, we're not doing too bad. Northwestern Minnesota. So some good snow totals up here. These yellows are 6 inches. This dark blue is 5 inches. Here's what's interesting. Get into the high end totals. And it is possible we see the high end in some areas. I can almost guarantee you some areas will see the high end. It's just not everyone will. But now we're talking about, this is from the National Weather Service, 12 to 13 inches in Minneapolis. So big snow totals possible in the Minneapolis metro if we hit that high end. Rochester, foot of snow. Albert Lee, 10 inches of snow. Mason City, 8 inches. Waterloo, 4 inches. The high end puts a lot more down into Des Moines, 2 to 3 inches down into Des Moines. I think it's going to be tough to get snow this far south, but Chicago, a couple inches on the high end. We can see what's happening in Wisconsin. Madison, maybe 5.5 on the high end. Green Bay, 10 inches. Eau Claire, 13 inches. Getting up here towards Ironwood, we could be seeing 2.5 feet of snow. We could be seeing 3+ feet of snow on the high end in the UP of Michigan. Grand Rapids, 8 inches. Kalamazoo, 9 inches. Pretty good snow on the high end. You can see northern Michigan here, 15, 16 inches on the high end. And this really 7 to 9 inches of snow on the high end stretches through much of Minnesota. And on the high end, we get even up to 6 to 7 inches up there in northern Minnesota. I did quickly want to walk you through the timing here. As we get into the afternoon, the heaviest snow is moving into Minneapolis metro, and our winds are really starting to kick up out there in central Minnesota, eastern Minnesota, northern Iowa. As we get towards 6 p.m., here we go. Heavy snow begins to fall through portions of central Wisconsin, up towards the UP of Michigan. Maybe a little sleet, maybe a little mix out ahead of this, and we are seeing a lot of rainfall and the potential for some severe weather out here as we get into the late afternoon, early evening hours, down there through portions of Indiana, Illinois, maybe Ohio, and heavy rainfall in Michigan ahead of this snow. As we get closer to midnight, the slow begins to deepen. 982, this is getting very strong. This low is beginning to bomb out. Heavy snow still falling around midnight potentially through portions of southeastern Minnesota. And then you can see this is when we could have some nice back end snow moving into southern Wisconsin. We'll see if we can get some bigger snow totals down here. It's possible. You saw the high ends, but central to northern Wisconsin is doing really good here. And we're absolutely being crushed in the UP of Michigan. And then as we get into tomorrow morning and into tomorrow afternoon, this snow is transitioning over Michigan. Really quickly, we need to take a look at these winds. Gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour associated with the snow are possible through portions of Iowa and Minnesota. And then as we push into the nighttime, the strongest winds will be transitioning out to the east into Wisconsin, the UP of Michigan, and then into western Michigan. And we could have some serious snow squalls out here in Michigan as we get into tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, with wind gusts potentially gusting over 60 miles per hour. Whiteout conditions in this region are definitely possible for a lot of us. I did quickly want to mention as we get into tonight and tomorrow, a major ice storm is possible up here through portions of New England, eastern upstate New York, portions of Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. I'm hoping these totals are way off because you get over an inch, up to 1.5 inches of ice. This is catastrophic. Make sure if your house is gas heated, you have extra gas. Make sure you have batteries, radio, food. These roads are not going to be drivable if we see this much ice. We could see trees down, power lines down. Just make sure to stay updated. This obviously would be, I think, worst case scenario. So stay updated and listen to your local officials. Before I wrap this video up, I just want to mention our European weeklies are starting to agree with our GFS extended ensemble, where our Arctic oscillation is staying a little bit more negative as we push through January. You can see our NAO agreeing with the GFS a little bit more now on our European weeklies, with these ensembles staying a little bit more negative as well. So a little bit of a cooler trend continuing for portions of the east. PNA still looking neutral to negative though, so we could still get some cooler air through January into the west. A little bit more snow into the Rockies than we saw in December. I'm hoping that happens for you guys. And then taking a look at our WPO, some blocking as we push through January. So this is also a decent sign for a good wintry January here. And you can see on the GFS extended, our WPO really drops off a cliff here as we get towards the end of January. So still looking pretty cool for much of us in January, especially out east. I think we might have a little issue with moisture still mid-January, but I'll continue to keep you guys updated. I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. A like on the video always helps as well. I try and post videos like this every single day and live stream to answer all of your weather related questions. And if you want to join an awesome weather community, the link to my Discord is in the description of all of my YouTube videos and YouTube lives. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video or in the live stream.